What's Happening Hoke show is filmed before a live audience and is brought to you by Rockfish Motor Speedway, the Rock of Hoke, Nunboys.com, and GPS Photography and Video. What's happening, Hoke? We're back, and now it's time to watch, or time to talk, the Rock of Hoke. You know, they're on a bye week this week. You saw the start of the Mod Lights. Winner was Colton Beasley. Cool Hand Cole, I call him. Hurricane Hank went down. You saw it. What was his brake pads, his brake calipers?
After looking at the car after the race, the mounting bracket that holds the brake caliper broke.
Wow.
Then the caliper shifted and it bound up against the rotor. Got the rotor so hot it exploded. That's what all that smoking metal was laying on the track.
Jeez. So, I mean, wasn't too much you could do with that. I mean...
Well, see, that happened halfway through the heat race. He drove half the race with no brakes.
Well, that would be typical anyway. So, I mean, and I'm just trying to crack out to check to see what exactly else went on. Duke Layton, his car, he had trouble with his as well. Looked like he was bearing down pretty good on Colton.
He had a broken bolt in the lower control arm.
Now, how does that happen?
That's just metal fatigue. That's a piece of metal that you've checked over time, tighten it, loosen it, tighten it, loosen it. Eventually, it just breaks.
Okay. Well, Colton Beasley wins the first Mod Light race in the state of North Carolina, which was key. Looking at there was no mini pro or pro kart race because of the Mod Light that replaced that race. Wingless 600. Matt Carr wins the second one in the wingless.
He is on video saying wingless does not suit his driving style.
I interviewed him. I know that's what he said. And ever since we had that first wingless race, he reversed himself. So he was, you know, maybe he was smelling too much of the gas fumes. I don't know, but I know he's on film and saying, hey, wingless does not suit his racing style. But it is what it is. I know he was behind, got to lap 3. He went down low on the track to pass Tim Nye. And then from there, he went on and powered to win. But that was interesting that he went that low on the track to get him. I don't know. You just have to see. You know, I mean, that's what he said. He said wingless now suits his racing style. Do you think we do more wingless racing?
Actually, the 270s have been asking when they get their turn.
Well, you think it's going to happen in the 270s?
We tried it once last year, but it didn't have a real big turnout. But I don't know. That might be something that gets the car count back up for the 270s. Cause
so we're talking the young guys, Ben McCall, Dale Trogdon. Those guys want to run wingless.
Ben asks me almost every week.
Well, I think he's going to be back this coming week as well.
I'm not sure if it's this coming up week or one more. I don't know. I'll find out for sure.
Yeah, we want to look for him back. Also, yeah, we got an eye on Dale Trogdon. I also want to see if Josh Gomez is going to make it back in the pro karts. So be interesting. Eric Cardona, you think he can continue to power? He's in second now. He's leapfrogged Kimberly Oxendine. Going against Levi in the mini pro. He's got 2 weeks in a row, 2 wins in a row.
You know, the mini pro go-kart points division and the 600s, they're really the only points races that are that close to
close to call.
I mean, right now in the 600s, Matt and Mark are tied for first.
Now, how's that? Matt and Mark Jones, trying to keep up with the Joneses. How's that going to work out?
I don't know. If it comes down to that at the end of the year, the tiebreaker would be most wins.
Most wins. Y'all wouldn't do I like to see a dual race, Jones against Jones.
I don't know about that.
Maybe 5 laps. It'd be interesting to see. But
if it came down to that at the end of the year, I don't know.
Now, Jason Brown won this last week here in the 270. 270 still seems to be having a different winner each week. Not really anyone dominant per se, but Matt Jones, again, he's doing well in the 270s. So, I mean...
That's the thing. He's not sacrificing one for the other.
Right.
He's doing well at both.
He's doing well at both. He got good balance. And he doesn't have much time between the 270 and the 600 to get ready for the 600. I mean, he's literally jumping out of one car and jumping in the other. His whole mindset and psyche has to change focusing in on the 600 racing.
Well, it's one of those things, I guess, once you're in the car, once you have your reflexes honed, once you're ready to go, once you're thinking about it, just keep going.
Right. And a couple of weeks ago, both Joneses were in the 270, and then Mark Jones won the 270. So, and then they both together went on to the 600 race. So it's going to be interesting to see how those guys work out. But then let's talk about the legends.
I knew you were
The
going.
legends, saving for last. Fast Eddie Daniels, 12 wins. Does not have the record. Has tied the record.
Tied the record, and he's one away for tying consecutive wins. He's won 6 in a row twice.
Wow, 6 in a row twice. 7 is that record.
7 is that record.
And who holds that record?
The guy that's second to him in points right now.
Billy Gomez Jr. I mean, I call him a nemesis, but I mean, these guys race hard every week. They're back and forth. You had to know that Billy Gomez Jr. was going to race him hard because nobody wants to give their record up.
Well, and at the same time, at one time, Eddie was just running away from everybody.
Yes,
They've caught him.
Yeah, this was last year. Everybody talked about it. But last year, Eddie wasn't here. But also Jonathan Kroom had 8 wins last year.
Yeah, well, he was driving it. Last year, Jonathan Kroom had a car owner with an unlimited budget.
Wow.
So, I mean, he had new engines, new tires, new everything every week.
So he doesn't have that this year. So
he's got his own cars.
Wow. But it's been interesting to watch those guys race. Shout out to Stephen Ford. Stephen Ford hit me up, and said, hey, you got any picture of the 86 car? I said, hey, I gave Billy and Eddie all they wanted. True enough. So shout out to Stephen Ford for that.
And with his finish last week, he actually just moved into the top 5 in points.
Top 5 in points. And it's interesting to note that he passed Fast Eddie Daniels to put Eddie in 3rd place. So he was racing right behind Billy Gomez Jr. We get down to lap 20, 22. And true to form, here comes Eddie. And he goes back to the front of the pack and wins it. And Stephen Ford passes Billy Gomez Jr. doing that little tap, but then Billy Gomez came back and passed him back. The story that came up though, Stephen Ford was in a Gomez racing vehicle, number 86, what have you. Was he blocking for Billy Gomez?
Honestly, I don't think so. If he was blocking for him, why did he beat him the week before?
True statement.
And that blue car, that is my favorite car out of the Gomez camp because it's the only car I've ever seen beat the boss.
But he hasn't been back. I mean, ever since he had that crack up, he hasn't had that car back. It's going to be interesting going into next week, week 15. There's only 8 races left. 8 races left. He's going to get the record. Eddie's going to get the record. It's just a matter of now, is he going to do it next week or how many wins he's going to end up with overall?
Well, I don't know. The next number is unlucky 13. So.
Yes. Unlucky 13, week 15. I don't know. It's been fun to watch. It's been an interesting season. Hard to believe only 8 races left. Now, we'll go all the way up to November, but, we'll race 2 races and then take a break, of course. So, I'm going to be watching those guys. I mean, the Rock of Hoke is definitely a place you want to come out there to see some great races, some great competition. And for the most part, it's been pretty cool. But it did get heated a couple times, too. I mean, we went everything from talking to shocks to people jumping and running across the track to coming out of the winner's circle. I mean, if you weren't there, you missed it. But it was exciting. A lot of families are racing. Eddie Daniels Sr. Out there. And Billy Gomez Sr. And they just got a second car. I mean, the Joneses. You learned all these names. The Laytons now. There's in the Mile Lights. The McCalls. I mean, it's something to see. The Trogdons, you have your favorites just by the standpoint you always got to root, at least I do, root for the underdog. That guy that has one of everything. He knows that if this goes, I can't race this week. And it's amazing, man, because it's so hard to get a win, and to see people have consecutive wins like Tim and I with 5 wins in the 600.
Could you imagine what the points would look like if he showed up every week?
He comes down from Mooresville, North Carolina. It's a 3-hour drive. But you're exactly right. What would the races look like if he could have been there every week for the last 14 weeks? Not only him, what about Jonathan Kroom? If he's there for the last 14 weeks, would Eddie be as dominant as he is? I don't know, because it seems like Jonathan Kroom brings out the best in Eddie, and vice versa.
He brings out the best in everybody because he gets them riled up.
Exactly.
He really does. He roughs them up a little bit, and everybody
gets up a notch. And then, of course, Billy Gomez Jr., I mean, not taking anything whatsoever away from Billy. Billy is consecutively second. He races hard. I mean, he's got a whole racing team. It's like Hendrick Motorsports out there. So it's amazing to see, man.
And one more thing about the track, it's September now, so we have to start thinking about November. $1,000 to win 600 race. That's how we're ending the year.
And the double points race is going to happen.
You know what? I can't get a straight answer out of the president, but since I'm the one that controls the points, the next race, which is going to be Baxter's Electric Night, the night they got rained out before, that's going to be double points night.
And that's going to be on what date?
What date, Larry? 12th.
12th of September. That's the next race.
That's the next race.
The next race is double points. Tell you what, let's take a break. We'll be back. We'll close it out.